Hi, I'm Picasso with the Eagle Riders MC here in Las Vegas, and today, of course, I am with.
Always Hollywood with Black Patch MC here in Las Vegas.
So today we have another special guest. We were kind of excited about this one. We've been getting a lot of questions in the comments about military-related clubs and how they fit in with the protocol and other clubs and how they work in the community, because it's kind of a little bit of a different animal. And so we are going to be doing some more interviews with other military-related clubs to talk about that, how certain things like, Marines, Air Force, any of the branches do their own thing. We're going to do more videos like that. But today we have a special guest. Today we have Doc in the studio today. Doc is, well, I'll just kind of let you introduce yourself. I mean, I think that's probably the easiest thing. So tell us a little bit about you and the organization you ride with. So yeah.
Okay, I'm Doc. My name is Vic Moss, but everyone calls me Doc.
Everybody's Doc.
Yeah, everybody's Doc. With the American Legion Riders, which is a program of the American Legion. The Legion is actually a veteran service organization, the largest one in the world, and total membership, about 2.5 million members, including our auxiliaries.
Cool. So one of the reasons we want to have you on as a guest, and it's interesting. I'm staring at you across the studio here. Obviously you've got a ton of patches and a ton of ride pins, and that's a world we're not quite used to.
Yeah.
Because we generally, as an MC, you keep your cut pretty clean, right? So, but obviously it works a little bit differently. So tell us a little bit about like what a veterans group would be like. What sets you apart from like an MC or even an RC? Like, because explain that a little bit.
Okay, so there are veteran MCs, three-piece patch MCs, which is, it's really a motorcycle world vernacular.
Yeah.
Versus riding clubs that exist that maybe in one patch, sometimes based on the branch of service or whatever brings people together. No different than in the civilian world when it comes to motorcycle clubs and riding clubs. What makes us a little different is that we're neither. We're not even a riding association. We are an actual official program of the American Legion, and it's just a way of getting motorcycle riding legionnaires together to be able to go out into the community and do things to support veterans and children and the family members based on the principles of the American Legion. So it's almost like a rolling billboard for the Legion.
Got it. Now you're ex-Air Force, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so do you guys have any kind of? Is there any? You allow Coast Guard? Do you allow Marines? Is it all branches?
The American Legion is open to any veteran who served since December the 7th, 1941. Any branch of service, including the Coast Guard and now the Space Force, including the reserve units and most National Guardsmen, if they were ever put on what we call Title 10 orders, actually activated to federal service. If they've only done state service, then they're not eligible, because it is based on the congressional charter of the organization. It is a, quote, wartime veterans organization. So all branches of service. And in our particular post, it's interesting because we meet at the Leatherneck Club, which is a Marine Corps themed bar and grill. But a lot of our members are not Marines. It's just a cool place to be anyways.
Yeah, it is a neat place. We've done.
Yeah. It's a little mini museum of Marine Corps history, but we've got all branches of service in our post.
Can you talk on, because there's we're familiar with Post 8, American Legion Post 8. Like I've seen those all over the country, the American Legions. Can you talk on that, just like how those fit in it? Or is that just kind of like a place that's separate from, say, the motorcycle world? It's just I guess.
Yeah, so the organization is divided up into departments, which basically corresponds with each state. And then we have some overseas departments, one in France, Philippines, Mexico, a few others. And then within the state or the department, it's broken up by posts. And each post, it's kind of like a chapter. You have different chapters of different MCs depending where you're at. Well, it'd be kind of the same way. It's just usually geographical or based on interest. Here in Las Vegas, because we're kind of piled on top of each other in a small area, there's 13 different American Legion posts.
I knew there was a few. I didn't know.
Yeah, there's like 13 within our district, but there's only maybe 5 that are really active and in the community and fairly large. Some of them, maybe have 30, 50 members.
Yeah.
Ours has about 300 members. About 90 are motorcycle riders in our post. Post 8, I don't know what their demographics are, but they've got about 600 members in their post. Post 40 down at Henderson. They've got about 700 members.
Okay.
Yeah, because we know Post 8, we've done it.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
been there
Yeah.
quite a
Big
bit.
group, too.
Yeah.
And then were you saying that they're putting on the Rock the Troop?
Yeah, you have an event coming up, right?
Yeah, we sure do. Can I show the shirt?
Yeah,
definitely.
sure.
Well,
Yeah, that's fine. Give you a plug, sure.
Rock the Troops is a annual poker run that we've been doing. This is the 20th year. It started out at a place called King Tut's Pub and Poker, and it was to raise money for the families and the veteran, mostly military folks, really, to help the deployed soldiers of the Nevada National Guard originally. And then as the wars wound down, we expanded out where we would put the money.
Okay.
Over the years, we've raised about $200,000.
Yeah, it's a pretty big ride.
It's a
Yeah,
good
and we
ride.
get
Yeah,
and,
big
and we've
ride.
given all that money away. We
Yeah.
don't sit on it. We
very
actually
cool.
donate it to help.
So obviously our channel is called Biker Protocol,
Yep.
and we've been, as Prakash was saying, we get a lot of comments about veteran clubs and stuff. How could you compare your guys' your organization to a motorcycle club? Do you guys have similar hierarchy, presidents, officers, that sort of stuff?
Some do and some don't. The way it's set up with Legion Riders, National puts out basic guidelines that we all kind of have to follow and what we can and can't do because of the organizational structure of the Legion. Then some places they will set up separate rider groups with their own checking accounts. They will have their own officers, their own bylaws, or the rules of operation. I believe that's the way Post 8 operated, Post 40, Post 60 down in Laughlin. Our post, because it was created by motorcycle riders, we're like, why do we need to set up a separate channel and have an extra meeting? So we just kind of combined everybody into one.
Yeah.
Even at our events, the folks who are not riders and can't wear the Legion Rider patch, they all wear vests similar, just with the American Legion logo instead.
Okay.
So my question then, leading into that, is so obviously you wear a cut vest,
Yep.
right? And you have a back patch. It's not like a territorial, you're not a rocker, right? But so with the Legions, so explain how that works a little bit. So every post has its own patch, I assume, right? So like one.
So here-
you have your own patch.
Right.
So how does is there any kind of like a governance as far as how your cuts need to be laid out? Is it just kind of wear the patch and do whatever you want, or like how do you guys establish any kind of protocol for that?
So each department is going to be different. If you go over to California, the back of of their vests of the cuts are all exactly the same. It'll have their chapter number and it'll have a veteran on the bottom of the patch and nothing else. They're very highly organized structure. Arizona is also organized, but they don't quite have as much strict rules. Here in Nevada, we're not organized at all. I always say it's kind of like a basket case. So it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It's Nevada. you know?
Vegas. Yeah.
It's Vegas. Do your own thing. So some of the posts we all kind of agreed to have the back set up pretty much the way mine is, but the front's free. Go.
Do whatever you want, right?
You-
So ride pins and
Ride
patches.
pins and
Okay.
all that. The only thing is because we are representing the American Legion, and this kind of comes from from national headquarters, we have to be a little careful on some of the more risque.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would make
Yeah.
sense. Sure. Yeah. No. Yeah. Cursing patches. Or
Yeah, because they
whatever.
don't want to bring disrespect to the American.
Sure.
You know, of course,
Yeah.
but we're bikers too, and
Yeah.
we push that.
Yeah.
Even my wife has a few patches on hers that are kind of like, okay.
Now,
So-
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, okay, so being that you're just am I wrong to say just like a motorcycle association, right? Or not?
Yeah,
'cause
that
you're-
would be the closest that
Okay.
you could say that.
And have you run into any issues being in the world of like the motorcycle clubs and riding clubs,
Not
wearing a patch and so forth?
Not really. Early in the days when it was first being created, 20 years ago, all of a sudden you see a bunch of veterans showing up with a patch on the back, and some of the MCs were like, "Okay, who are you and what are you doing?"
Mhm.
And we here in Nevada, when we started, we had to work out those protocols with everybody, the powers to be, so to speak.
Yeah.
To make sure they understood what we are, who we are, and we've never had an issue. Once it's explained, everybody generally gets along once they know what's happening. So I remember we had a big run. We had about 100 of us running across from here all the way to San Antonio to
Wow.
drop off a truckload of goods at the Fisher House down at Fort Sam Houston. And some folks from one of the bigger clubs came out we were at one of our stops fueling, and they're like, "Who are you and what are you doing?"
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they were sent on a mission to find out what is this big mass of riders doing
Mhm.
coming across. And once they knew, it's like, okay, there's no problem, because a lot of guys in the MCs are veterans too.
Yeah.
Sure.
They
Oh, yeah. Most
understand
of our
it.
club is, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you got a lot of veterans, so it's not a big deal. So no, we've never really had any kind of issue with it.
Mhm.
Do you, so how, you actually have been, you don't have to name names,
Right.
but you've been in, or you've ridden in RCs and you've been in an MC too. Is that correct?
Yes.
So how would you contrast the difference because you have that experience that like we don't. So how do you contrast like being in those types of clubs versus the type of club you're in now? Or not club, I guess you're in now.
Yeah, yeah, the
Right.
the non-club.
Yeah, the
league.
non-club.
So being in an MC it takes a huge amount of dedication and loyalty and things that you have to do for the club. The club becomes your family, so to
Right.
speak, and all those things. And back in those days, when the club calls, you got to go.
Mhm.
And riding clubs, not so much. They don't really have that, although they might have like mandatory runs. So you're expected to go to certain things to support certain things. Whereas with us, our attitude is, come when you can. We'd love to see as much as possible. Come out and support. And if you can't, we get it. Life throws curveballs at people. And if you show up once a year, fantastic. We'd rather see you more, obviously, but we don't mandate anything.
Right. It's more like a voluntary service.
It,
so-
it is.
so less
It is. Yeah.
pressure. That makes
And the Legion itself is that way too. You pay an annual, pittance of a dues, and that's come as you can.
Do you feel that there's still, as motorcycle clubs are supposed to be about brotherhood and family, do you feel that in such a large organization and one that, like as you just mentioned, isn't necessarily requiring you to do anything specific?
Not so much as it would be in an MC, clearly. And because we're really more focused on the programs of the Legion as a whole, that brotherhood comes to us more as being veterans than being in the motorcycle
I
part
gotcha.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although when we're all riding together, you kind of get that feel
yeah.
of we're together. But
Sure.
we might get 5 people, we might get 15 people, and it's not always the same ones.
Yeah. Okay. I got you on that one.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you had something earlier that I think I interrupted you with, but going past me, I
Sorry.
totally forgot. But so yeah, going back to the protocol aspect of it. So, could you is there? I guess the similarities. I don't know if I'm repeating myself. Between say yourself and the other veteran motorcycle clubs. Is there anything you can link to the two?
So the way it would be structured within the veteran motorcycle clubs is really the same as it would be on the civilian side, other than they have more stringent requirements for joining.
Yeah.
We do have not so much in this community. I see them occasionally, but there are some 3-piece patch MC motorcycle clubs, veteran only. And then you get groups that are more of a riding club, kind of like the Marine Riders. They're
Yeah.
pretty big. And then you get the CVMA, which is like a nationwide motorcycle association. It's not really a club, but they're all more focused on veterans.
And do you? So you said I think mentioned 20 years. Your post has been around, or this organization.
Well,
in
Rock
here?
Rock the Troops has been 20
that was
years
20
doing
years,
that
Rock the
from when
Troops.
we first started. Our post actually started in 1995, and then
Okay.
it collapsed, and a group of us restarted it in 2007.
Okay.
So it's a couple years after Rock the Troops was started. And the reason we're involved in it now is because even before we were involved with the American Legion Riders, we were down there helping out with that poker run
Yeah.
from the very inception of it.
And so what I was going at was now. So you had to restart. Did you have to get any kind of approval from other clubs in town, or even just go over and say, hey, go to like your local COC or something and say, hey, we're putting our patch back on. Just want to let you guys know we're not an MC, but
Yes,
out of
and
respect.
that is strictly out of respect.
Yeah.
We went to the COC, one of the COC meetings, and we met with some of the Ps that were there at the time.
Mhm.
And it was kind of funny. The only one that had any concern, not to use names, but it was another veterans club,
Hmm.
right? Because all of a sudden you got another veterans group.
Oh,
True.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we do hear that.
Right. So it's like they wanted to make sure, we're not there trying to take over territory.
Right.
or
And,
anything.
and you're
It's like,
fighting for
we're not. We're
prospects
just
and yeah.
yeah. Well, again, once you have a talk with somebody, that's the biggest thing. Is it's the old saying, "Give respect, get respect."
Of course.
Yeah.
It's true for us. It's true for everybody.
Sure.
And you can go ahead. I'll
Oh,
let
I
you
was just going to ask. So obviously, you said that. You told us earlier the requirements for joining. Do you guys? I'm assume no, but do you guys prospect or do
Yeah, I
you
was going to ask that. Yeah.
do any kind of formal membership other than just the requirements you outlined earlier?
We don't have any prospecting at all because we figured the prospecting took place while you were in the military.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Good point.
No,
Yeah,
that's a
definitely.
great, very valid point.
Getting
yeah.
shot at and bombed.
Yeah, that's pretty good qualification. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, we don't do that, but we do verify.
Oh, yeah.
Veterans have a discharge certificate, DD 214, we call
Mhm.
it, and we verify that they are indeed veterans because there's a lot of frauds out there. People that pretend to be
That
veterans.
is-
Really.
that
So
is
we've run into that
unfortunate.
ourselves, actually, oddly enough. So yeah.
Yeah,
that's strange.
yeah. So we'll verify and double check it, and sometimes you can just get bad feelings from people.
Yeah.
We've seen bogus documents and things like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, we don't. Now, each post does have the right whether or not to accept somebody in their membership.
Oh, yeah. I was
So,
going to ask,
yes.
can you refuse it even if they are a veteran?
Yes, we can actually do that. So they can join the Legion and be in a member at large, which is just part of the national database, and they'll get magazines and all that. But they're not assigned to a specific post because
Okay.
the post does have to accept them.
Right.
In our post, and we've actually, believe it or not, been criticized for this. Our attitude has been, if you don't like us, there's the door. You can leave anytime.
Mhm.
Right? There's other posts. Go find one that you do like.
Yeah.
Because if you're not happy with us, we're not going to change who we are. Our every organization, every club has their own character and personality.
Right.
If you don't fit in on that personality, don't expect them to cater to you.
Well, and
That's just like motorcycle clubs,
Yeah, well,
right?
it's really not much
it's the
different,
same
right,
exact
yeah.
thing. Right?
Yeah.
Keep in mind that the MC world, if you go back in history, a lot of that started from groups of military men
Yeah.
coming back from World
Exactly where it
War II,
came
missing
from,
the
yeah.
brotherhood, created the clubs, right? Whether it was the HA or the POBOBs or
Yeah.
the guy. That's where it all started.
Oh,
right?
yeah, definitely.
So in Southern California, and it was guys coming back from the war that missed that brotherhood. So
Yeah, sure.
So we still have that same kind of thing that
Yeah.
we can choose who joins and who doesn't.
All
Very
right.
interesting.
That's very cool. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good insight to the,
Well,
the military.
yeah,
world.
no, this is awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming down today. I don't know if you have any other questions, but
Can I give a
no.
shameless plug about the poker run?
Of
No,
course,
definitely,
absolutely.
definitely,
yeah.
We're going to put a link in the description.
Oh, are you? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But tell us briefly, when is it? When it's coming up really soon.
Yeah. It's Saturday, March 29th.
Okay.
Registration from 9 o'clock to 10:30 in the morning at the Leatherneck Club, 4360 Spring Mountain Road.
Perfect.
Yep.
We'll put a link in the description. I know this is going to air, just before that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And we obviously have an international audience, but anybody local here in Las Vegas, if
Las
you want to
Vegas,
come,
yeah.
Well, sooner or
Highly
later,
recommend this,
everybody
yeah.
comes to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
right? That's true.
So-
We've learned that. That's true.
Yeah, come on in and join us.
But I will testify. We participated in this
Yes.
ride for years, and
And we
it's
appreciate
an
that.
amazingly organized. It's a fun ride. It's a well put together event.
Yeah, we
So
do
I'm
appreciate
not really big on poker runs, but this is definitely one of the better ones. So yeah,
we have told people, if you don't want to ride all over town and dealing with all that,
yeah.
come in, register. You can sit at the bar and drink all day. We don't care. We got your
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? The whole
I
idea is
prefer
to
they not
raise
do
money.
that, but yeah,
Yeah.
but sure.
Yeah,
that's
right.
awesome,
You don't have to do the run. If
Yeah.
you want to just,
But it is a good run. I mean,
it
you
is.
guys
It's
do
a
put a
great
lot of work
run, and
into
we
it.
got
It's worth
live
it.
music and great food
Yep.
from the Roadkill Grill. They donated to us.
Oh, they're great. Yeah, we
Yeah,
love that.
phenomenal.
All right.
Phenomenal.
Good barbecue.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
Awesome.
thanks
Thanks again
you
for coming in.
Absolutely, and thank you for the invite.
Yeah,
You're
definitely.
absolutely welcome. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to this video. You can do that down below.
Down
Click
below.
the little notification
Thumbs
bell.
up, bell, all that sort of
All
stuff.
that stuff. It helps us with our channel and helps us grow it. And please, if you're part of a, any kind of a veterans club, organization, anything like that, please leave a comment in the description there, or comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. Find out if you have any kind of background history with any kind of, American Legion or any kind of veterans organization. We'd love to hear from you and hear your comments about how you fit into this whole
Yeah.
world. So please do that down
And
below.
we're going to definitely be doing more for like we were talking about the Marine
Yeah.
riders. There's legacy vets. There's a lot of veteran clubs that we'd love to hear from and get some people in here with.
Yeah, we always get really good feedback from those, and it's always a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
it's great having people like Doc in here. So again, thank you so much for coming by. We do a traditional shot.
Yep.
So today, I've been trying to kill Hollywood for so long.
Yeah.
This came from my wife, actually. My wife belongs to one of the bourbons of the month thing, and so she was like, "You're having a guest today. You
I
can't
don't think
drink
they're-
crap." So I was like, "All right." So she gave me this. This is Kings County Distillery. It's a private barrel straight bourbon, I guess. I'm not a bourbon drinker.
Yeah, I just
She
don't
says
think
it's
you can
good.
go too wrong with bourbon.
No,
as
I
far
guess.
as you've gone.
I'm not a bourbon drinker, but this stuff's pretty good. All right, cheers. Cheers. Ooh. Yeah, I don't like bourbon. It's
Oh,
probably
pretty
great.
good.
I'm just not a bourbon drinker.
No,
That's
pretty good.
actually
You
pretty
like it?
smooth though for a
Yeah.
bourbon.
Is it?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you say, it all tastes like gasoline to me, but yeah, I'm not a bourbon drinker.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
a
I like
whiskey
it.
drinker. My
Better
wife
than-
says it's good. Must
Better
be
than
good.
pickled 99
pickle-
or whatever that was.
Garbage we drank a couple weeks ago. All right. Listen, thanks again, everybody. Thanks for watching and subscribing. See us. We do our videos every week. So please, on every Friday, be sure to look, but click the notification bell. You'll get the video. So thanks again for watching. Thanks again to Doc. And keep the shiny side up. Peace out.